together. It's a refresh.
Yeah, so refresh or try again later.
Just refresh.
Okay. There we go. No, we don't want to do none of that.
Good evening, family. Good evening. No games. Good afternoon. I guess could it be considered afternoon or evening?
It's still afternoon for a minute.
Good afternoon to the family that's out there. I just want to get it right. Y'all know I'll be messing up.
Man, no, he be on it. So much going on in his head. He don't remember it all in the order. That's the
Facts.
thing. That's the thing.
Facts.
Well, if you all are traveling to the Washington D.C. area, things seem to be a bit discombobulated and out of order. So apparently, President Trump made a decision to call a National Guard out. I didn't see all of the super details, but I know that we had a few people that are part of our family that are there and have some concerns. So, we should all have concerns. So, if you don't know anything about um, preparing or prepping, you kind of might want to just be careful and move in a manner that you can go get some things to tide us over just in case. Um, I don't like the way it looks, uh, especially there, which means who knows what's going to happen next anywhere. And of course, in DC, that's a very metropolitan and very ethnically uh, oriented city or district, and we have to be aware as we're traveling, and be concerned when we travel that we're going to have a little bit different scrutiny. So, yes, it sounds cryptic, but read between the lines.
For sure. I agree with you. It's like, you know what? Because and I'm glad because I'm glad we're on Conspiracy Tuesday and we doing this together because where I'm finna go. Good evening, Saya Quill, Aunt Mama Quill, and we praying for DC and the family out that way. But like I say, Yogi G and Anna will be on Friday. But if they needed to come on anytime early, we got no problem letting them come on and explain what's going on. But as we know, Friday they're gonna be on.
Right.
But if they needed any time to come on, they know the platform is open to them.
Yeah, I just texted her earlier. I just text Yogi G earlier. So, we'll be in constant contact to make sure that they're okay.
Facts. I had talked to Anna yesterday about it, and she was telling me, I mean, and where I'm finna go, I know you already know you follow this person too. Have y'all been paying attention to Layla Harvey McGee post?
Hmm.
What's up, Yogi G? I like a lot of maybe a lot of people how she be going, and this what we really consider being woke. Like the stuff that she be going to the information she be putting out there, it'll go over a lot of people's heads on what she talking about.
Okay.
So you know what I'm saying. I'm just saying, people go look at the post she just did. I want to say it was yesterday or something, because she kind of put a post. She's talking about what's going on in D.C. fires when for him doing the National Guard.
Right. Yeah. Because you're talking about politicizing the police, putting having National Guard out, and that's going to raise a lot of chaos, which is the whole point of the exercise.
Facts. See, what did you just say? The exercise.
Yeah, that's all. That's always part of the exercise, you know. But we can't, and this is not conspiratorial. This is truth. We cannot lose sight of what this country's always been about.
Facts.
And those persons that are celebrating what this particular so-called leader is doing are the ones that are benefiting from it, even though some of them may be getting hurt on the other side. They could care less about the fact that they're being, I don't have health care, I don't have this, as long as they're able to get back to where it's where we're on top, or as Lincoln would say, we have the superior position and everybody else has a minority position or inferior position.
Right.
And he's really talking about people of color and other people that are here in the country, that we want to have this position as compared to the other position. There's no equality.
But do they understand where this came from?
Yeah, absolutely. It's from the beginning of the inception of the country.
And I'm gonna go to this with people not understanding what's going on. Do anybody remember Pat Buchanan?
Mm.
He wrote a book called Depth of the West.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And some was looking at it, and what he was meaning by, I mean, and I'm not being trying to be.
No, you're telling
ignorant.
the truth, bro. If people don't understand it, you get upset, go look it up.
Right. It was basically talking about the browning of America.
Right.
And like how you were saying Sunday is only saying, and I don't want to get people, you know what I'm saying, but I'm just going off into it. Facts, Yogi, what better place to start than the nation's capital? So, and we know this. Let's just go to this. Think about, and I'm gonna use something simple. When they made weed legal, how many states started following it? Start legalizing marijuana. Right. See, when they do these laws, wherever you see happen in one, you can best believe they always got to start at some place. Started before they, you know what I'm saying? It's always some place they're gonna do their first exercise.
Right. So, but what people forget is the state may make smoking legal.
Right.
But, and there may be some companies that might gloss over it because they need workers.
Right.
But if it's a federally, it's not legal. So this is about states' rights, right?
Yeah.
So what Colorado does is it taxes weed at 25%.
Right.
So if you buy $100, you paying $125, and that taxes that they make off of it. There we go.
Man.
The taxes that they make off of it, they really use it to fund schools and other projects because they're in the mountains. So what they do is the streets need to be fixed and paved and all this other stuff with all of that snow there. And they get between 100 and 300 inches of snow in the wintertime at any time. So they use that money to help take care of their infrastructure and the roads. Okay. Most other places don't do that. But also what's happening is this is putting people to sleep, because what they're doing is they're not making or producing a regular line where you can just kind of chill out and still be functional. What's going on is people are 22%, 28% THC, 30%, 32%, 50%, 90%. The higher up, the less you're able to move. This is simply almost like what they did in the 60s with LSD. We're going to try just a little bit. But LSD was used for, LSU was used for the soldiers during Vietnam War. So unless they get shot in the heart or the head, they wouldn't feel anything.
Mm.
So if they get their head blown up, of course, that'd be functionless. They get hit in the heart, they'd be functionless. But anywhere else, they would still be able to continue to fight because of the level of detachment that the drug causes for the pain receptors. So then what did they start doing? Dropping it off in the neighborhoods. The song Lucy by the Beatles comes from LSD. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, LSD. That's where they get the name from. That's how they named it.
Right.
The Beatles were singing a song, but that's what they were talking about.
But people don't know that.
Well, now they know.
Yeah, but look at Vietnam, how many came back off of heron?
Man, dude, they had bro. You under stressful situations all the time, and 90 something percent of the soldiers, let's say 70% of the soldiers come back and they either addicted or they died from it.
Right.
So then they bring that back. But guess who was pushing it? The officers over there.
Right. Right.
Because we got to stay up and we got to stay on high alert. We got to stay up. We got to stay up.
All you got to do is what Brother Elliott talking about. Go watch the movie Platoon. When you see a person get his leg blew off, hit him with this. And that was back in the 80s. You would see the stuff that they hit him with. That's what he talking about. Yep. They was doping them up. Yeah, you done lost half your foot. Yep. Blew your arm off. They hit you with some stuff where you can still make it. You know what I'm saying? It's like they get them on you. They give them the habit. No different than football. They give you from you getting your ankle broke, this and that. You know what I'm saying? Putting you on these pills you got to take to keep you healthy long as you playing for them. But soon as you retire, you know they lose their
everything,
health benefits, right?
Yeah, they lose health benefits. They lose everything.
Yeah, but we're going to keep you. Really what we seeing, and it's just being honest, you seeing rich slaves. This in the history that they didn't have slaves make money like they making.
You also have the owners who are typically white men who right, okay, see, look what Sister Kill said. I was married to a Vietnam veteran. You would not believe what he could endure. Right, his pain tolerance is off the charts.
Oh, facts, yo.
But also he better not hear if he better not hear
4th of July.
Oh man. Or anything.
Exactly.
Anything.
Couldn't handle fireworks.
No fireworks, no nothing.
Yeah. But they don't listen, man. I was watching something and it was talking about African spirituality. It was just showing, dude, I was watching this where they were sharing with Islam and Mayat. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna break it down. It wasn't me. I was just going over. But let me show you how they did back in the day with the African soldier. Do you know before they let the men come back into the population, they did a thing like decleansing, getting their mind right from being out there in war? I didn't know that because I be watching different stuff. This what they did. They not even getting these men mind right when they bringing them back from over there being in the theater of war where you seeing somebody head get blew up. People not forgetting they taking babies, 18 going to fight these wars.
Or younger. Right.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm like just going to Vietnam. Them was young boys they sent over there. How you not going to bring that person down before you just let them back up, bring them here?
Look, and it's one thing to be debriefed.
Right.
But the decompression, like, and my nephew, and I love him dearly. And for those of y'all that are locally, y'all need to get in touch with him for your car care service. That's a little plug. But I watch him all the time. And he's been home from Iraq since at least 10, 12 years. And there's moments, and I go like, okay. And there's moments, all right, he'll be straight and we're laughing and joking. And there's other moments where he's not. And there'll be times when we talk about, going to say, hey, we're going to buy a piece of land. Hey, I'm going to go get it. We're going to get the land. And I just want to be up there. I don't want to be bothered with nobody. So these are the things that they've endured fighting for a country who believes that it has some rights to fight in other places, all because They want to assert their dominance somewhere else. And as we were saying, the owners of these teams are typically white men. So this is still another plantation system, whether it be football, basketball, baseball, whatever.
Go watch what Jerry Jones said about one of his players. He described him
Michael
down
Parsons.
to he described him down to his private part. No different when you heard Donald Sterling when he said, "I feed them, I clothe them,
Right? I own them."
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And to me, what I done found, what we going through is an assimilation, man. Just think about it.
But we chose that.
Yeah, I'm saying because the system. Look, people die off. What we had, we didn't have your Muhammad Ali's. We had your Jack Johnson. What they do, they get the money. They be, you know what I'm saying? Look at the lifestyle, how they had the women or whatever. You get some as time come on, got a little smarter, and how he had to do the stuff their way. But look how it's the same thing as like with the drugs. What about them early people that was on drugs? But is the drug still out here? You would think, shit, nobody seeing what crack did, and that's, I'm glad we on, and that's what I want to say. People don't understand how crack damn near destroyed generations.
Oh, and it still have an effect now.
They ain't understand. Good morning. I mean, good evening, Beverly Biggs in the building. I'm just saying they ain't not understanding like our community. It was a strategy that was put on it.
But here's the conspiracy.
Come on with it.
We know that very clearly happened in the 70s after the heroin addiction and the heroin rise after Vietnam. And then the next thing was a cheaper form of cocaine that they only fed in poor communities, typically ours, because meth is what they used in poor white communities. Then after that, it's you criminalize what you're giving people, but yet now with this opioid epidemic, with this fentanyl and this opioids and this and that and other, that two places make it and bring it into the country, at least two. One is China, the other one is Iran. But yet there's a national outcry about the opioid epidemic only because white people get sick and die of it. Now, these are stats and statistics. Y'all can go look them up. Well, you can see the outrage about something that should be controlled because it's used in with the medical establishment. So if we look at even heroin addictions, they give you to cure the heroin addiction, they give you something more addicting called methadone.
Facts.
And then there's the only way you get off of that is taking some other medication, which is to help you take the edge, but you stuck on that other meds for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we cure that? The only way we really cure that is that we have to understand, man, this is not, but see, here's the other part before I finish even that thought, is you have people that will put things in other people's stuff just to see so the issue is really not, well, part of the issue is really like, okay, I want to see what happens to such and such if I give them this. Why? So there's a level of self-hatred that we have inside of us that won't let each other, and this happened clearly on Sunday, that won't let us see each other as brother and sister and start to trust, which goes back to what we talk about on Black Watch with the Willie Lynch. This is the same stuff. So it's ingrained in our psyche to see somebody cause pain, right? So if you go to the store and you look on the shelf of, like, if you go to Target, whatever, and look at the movies that they have on the shelf, there is either murder, death, kill, horror. You know, it's all of these things to make people scared, even the video games, right?
I've been saying that.
Okay, of course. So if you make it so that people are no longer afraid to pull a trigger, because in the video game, if I get shot, I'm right back up.
Yeah.
But you desensitize people, especially Who do you Call of Duty, GTA? You put them in whose neighborhoods,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And
They're in the
we should
poorest
be
communities,
right. So and
black
then
and
all
brown.
right, and then they have the other games that they Roblox and all this other stuff that still have elements of violence in them, and those things are not being monitored because we're forcing our children to grow up quicker than they need to be. Go back to Sunday. We got a bunch of young people, from what I could see, and I could be wrong, fill me in, that were out unsupervised, and things happened that shouldn't have.
Oh, you ain't missing nothing. You know what it is.
Okay.
I'm telling you, my
Yeah, because I've watched and saw some of the video from yesterday,
brother, I was down. Let me tell
and you
you.
were there. Yeah, you were supposed to
Look,
call me, but it
yeah,
didn't family.
man,
That's
yeah.
okay.
I was when I went down there. This how my day went. I went down there, and like I said, I ran into a lot of my younger cousins.
See,
You know what I'm saying? So the females, that's kids now. I was me and my cousins. I said we the uncles now.
right.
These are my cousins in their late 30s that didn't have kids. They kids teenagers. So when they went, but they was with their kids. You know what they did? They like, nah, we finna go over here and go get our kids. It was a shooting.
Right.
Dude, this was something like, but when I was walking through there, it was like you say, it was youth that was unsupervised without their parents.
Right.
And you know how it is. We done been young. People want to act like they forget when people go out to the
Oh,
valley and meet
right,
up and
right,
fight.
right.
But
But it was
see,
a fight, and it
yeah,
wasn't a shooting. It wasn't I'm taking somebody's life.
right.
It wasn't
Facts.
like and we would try and do it in secret.
Right.
And now these kids are not doing it in secret, and we can't. We're all to blame.
Yeah.
Okay, we can say it's the parents, but it's all of us, because what we've done, and I think I said this and I sent it this morning or maybe yesterday. So when you don't raise the children up in a village properly,
Right.
this is an African proverb. The children come back to burn the village down.
And I think that's where we at with it right now. I think from when Angie called in, like people don't know the circumstances a lot coming in. When she called in Angie earlier on the bump, she was like, you gotta have some kids say, I'm not finna be watching these other kids. You know what I'm saying? You know how sometimes parents had the kids and
Right.
and a lot of these parents be being friends.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. A lot of this stuff we being friends. Because I was looking at some stuff I was seeing on TikTok and stuff, and it was showing this one kid how he was disrespecting the mama was 15.
Oh, the one that tore the house up? Did you see that?
No, I think they came back saying he was autistic.
Yeah,
but it was
gonna be
another
autistic,
one.
all right. You're gonna be artistic too when I finish with your ass.
That's what I said with my uncle. I got my uncle. I ain't gonna say his name, but we call him Get It.
Mhm.
Get It thing was whoop his ass.
Right.
That Get It. That was his thing. Was But see, that was the era we came up in. When and like I said, this was by design. Think about it. You couldn't whip your kid no more.
There's another conspiracy.
You know what I'm saying?
Man.
You know how it was. I was saying this morning on the bump. I said when you went, like you might have had going to a white person house to a black person house. It's just and I'm not gonna lie, it's a cultural difference.
Absolutely.
It's just a difference how we raise. Like you can you hear now I can close my door. Do that at your mama house. A black parent. They gonna whoop your ass and we'll whoop Johnny.
Right.
And call his parents up and be like, hey, we don't do that over here.
But see, what we've done is we've given that up for individualism.
Facts.
Instead of being family.
Right.
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 We've done that. We've given that up because we want them to be like somebody else, and you get shown blatantly that you're not.
Right.
I know there's going to be a number of students when we go back to school that are not going to be at the school. They're going to go somewhere else because they figure it's going to be better there. Yeah. Guess what? It may be better there, but they're telling you what the rules are.
Right.
And what we're not doing is telling people what the rules are and then going about making sure we enforce the rules.
Right.
So when the village burns down, we want to blame everybody. No, we're all complicit in the village being burned down.
Yeah. But see, I think when the village got burned down, this was doing reason why you seeing a lot of this came from doing what's up, Sherry Allen in the building. She got the name right on that
she
one.
Did. Go ahead.
Got the name
appreciate
right.
that.
So you know what I'm saying? It was like when they brought crack
and
in, man,
focused.
focus. Crack wouldn't like crack was a different when they put that thing, that baking soda and powder cocaine together, man. They put some stuff together. Can you understand that? Where you can smoke something that you will sell you done seen people sell they kid
children, yes,
right, and it's
yes.
like it dehumanize you. Like people ain't understanding what these like where you can be dehumanized. Where you look how they did the experiment with the rats with the crack.
Yep.
Like this stuff that they brought here and like, and they did nothing to try to heal it.
No,
like you said,
that's not their job.
But they created this problem.
Of course.
And then want to look at it. What's Rodney Thomas' good brother? They want to look at it and say, "Oh, look, just like I said with this earlier." But when you talk about what happened in downtown, like you did say, it's unsupervised. But you created the problem. When you go to affluent neighborhoods, you know what they have for their 15-year-olds? Stuff to do.
Well, there's that. Once again, there's the other part of the conspiracy. Well, all of these people around here, with all of these buildings, with all of these monies that we see on Tuesday evening Bible study, or Wednesday evening Bible study, and Sundays, and all these other stuff, you got all of these children there that could be doing something around the institution. There's another gift, okay? Or if you got to put something, there's always somebody popular in the neighborhood that they come on, you're gonna learn how to make a shit. Come on, where you at? I'm over Brother Elliott's house. I'm over Brother Mick's house. We learn how to do stuff.
Right.
Now I understand the other weird stuff that can happen, but that's your job as the parent too, and whoever is involved to go and investigate what the deal is with this person, instead of saying, no, my kids are just going to be able to roam and run out and do whatever they want to. And then if something happens, we want to cry, oh, my baby. But if they're over Uncle Mick's house or Uncle Elliott's house or Sister Yogi's house or Sister Sherry's house, and they're learning how to do things productive because they may not have anything else to do, then not only do they learn skills, but they get taught something that they can carry with them forward in their life.
Yeah, but what happened? Now, brother Zachary, I don't think I said heroin was before crack, because I know Billie Holiday, they had her own heroin.
Yeah.
What was the blues player Bird?
Yeah,
he was on
Charlie
heroin.
Parker.
Charlie Parker.
Yeah.
He was on heroin. Yeah, no, I know. Even yeah.
But what he's talking about is a song.
Yeah.
That my nephew, who since passed, turned me on to that song. I've forgotten about that song. Man, it was so hard to listen to that song. He wrote a song, put on an album called Heroin. This was right after his heroin addiction. Man, blew me away. But the thing is okay, so there's that stuff. So how do we cure it? It's not like we're not clear and not intelligent enough to know what happens once we start to take it. I remember them. Okay. Yeah. It's also so at what point in time are we going to start to rebuild the village? We have to start when the baby's in the womb. Hey, look, this your uncle. If you see my kid out doing whatever, check him. I don't care.
Because what I think where we at, man, and we're going to be forced, I'm just saying, go on a limb. We're going to be forced to have to deal with each other. Whether we like it or not. I would rather do it freely where we ain't going to be forced into it.
Well, we're being forced into it. Look at what they're doing in D.C. That's a test run.
Oh, yeah. What happened just downtown.
I was going to say, not only that, but I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Go
but
ahead.
At the jazz festival, didn't that something happen down there?
They had.
Was somebody got sprayed? Was that it? Somebody got maced by the police down there for cooking?
Yeah.
Okay, test runs.
Yeah.
When the water crisis, so-called water crisis was here or whatever, guess what they had coming through here? Giving you water. A locked and loaded National Guard. Test run. We're going to see what people are doing, how they're going to respond.
Right. Right. Is you gonna respond what we got to use for? So you gonna go inside like we telling you.
Right. Or if you go inside, what are you going to do when you get there?
Right.
Because not only that, we monitoring your stuff, we watching where you driving and all that stuff, all of that. So if they're doing that, how are we going to move in silence? We don't know how to do that anymore because everybody got to see me.
Facts.
People get mad because I don't take pictures. It's very rare that I take pictures doing something. Somebody told me this weekend I was in Saginaw at the cultural festival. Hey man, we saw you on a commercial. Oh, I don't know. I don't know how they saw me because I didn't get nobody permission to take. There's probably 50 pictures of me in the world, and my sister probably got 90 of them. Because I know the math is off. But she was like, she got all of the pictures because I don't take pictures like that. I don't want nobody to know nothing. And I know the phones and all the stuff in the car and the GPS and all that, track all of that, get it. But we got to learn how to, hey, that's my brother, that's my sister. Like I said, I talked to Yoki G earlier today. Sent her a message. Baby, you living in the heart of the heat right now. We have to start to corral our children and put them in the middle with our horns sticking out to be prepared to defend against the predators. And if one of the kids decide that they're going to run outside the circle, you got to let them go. And that's a hard thing. That's a hard thing. That's hard. It's like listening to a teacher say, well, if you save only one, huh? Your job to save everybody.
Right.
But it's their job to eat off the hook.
Right. It's like I said, it's such a dynamic that I don't think and I do think people think it can be cured overnight, but you got to have the right people
and the right mindset.
Right, because we got a lot of people who act like I'm for this and that, and they not. See, we have a lot of people who came and found ways to get paid off of the back and pain of the poor.
That's what Charleston White said. He said every group who's come in and off of our pain, they get paid. Every single group.
Yeah.
Whether it be Chinese food, whether that be hair, whether that be the doctor's office, whether it be whatever. Every group. Because we get told don't be doctors. We get told we don't build a place that we can go eat at, a restaurant that we can go eat at. We're gonna turn you down for money. Meanwhile, but we're gonna give them the money to run a gas station. We gave away $420 billion to the church last year.
And
in their deposits. Nothing. Ain't supposed to. Why are we relying on them to do anything?
I mean, they gave up money.
That's because people chose to.
Yeah, I'm just saying, but they gave up money to say they're gonna help to see. But that's the thing. The money is not hitting the targets.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
How can and that's what I'm saying, getting back to the kids. If you listen to what it was, I mean, they was young. Everybody, let's quit acting like you don't be having fighting that. But if you don't got nothing for them to do, saw the teacher, the lady, Sarah Houston, said she worked in the school for 7 years. Mm-hmm. She said she didn't bury one of her students. She had 3. Mm-hmm. And she said, burying one last week. Mm-hmm. Why did that man get highlighted? I get it why this one got highlighted. And you know what I'm saying? And it was wrong what happened downtown.
Right.
But should no youth be losing their life? Until, like you said, till we change the mindset. But look who running everything. You got a Sexy Red. Listen, man, I saw a TikTok where they had a kid was like 9 years old. Got her singing a Lotto song with money in her hand.
Right. Listen, I got a grandson, we could call him whatever, that now his mom is one of my goddaughters. Mm-hmm. And he was like, I'm shout out to one of my boys that today is his birthday. And this kid is standing there with a stack of cash and guns at his feet. I'm like, oh, that's who you hooping at? Then later on he goes and he kind of dismisses it and said, I can't, I don't want to be around that stuff, right? But guess what? You're not gonna be around me, but you because if I something they come through, do some dumb stuff at my house, I'm coming hunting, and it's gonna be a wrap. Because if you're associated with that, and then you bring that to where I'm at, which is where we try and be peaceful, and of course that is absolutely correct. That is absolutely correct. We're trying to be peaceful, but oh boy, all right, what was that, sister? That's my other sister right there. Yeah, we give you a loan so you can go buy a Cadillac. Well, see, but I'm like, and I'm telling him, I'm like, you need to cut yourself away from that because if you bring it to your house and something happened to your mom, that's your fault. If you at your sister's house and something happened to her children, that's your fault.
Facts.
They don't and I don't claim to be John Wick or none of that. I'm not talking. That's because my whole thing is I'd rather you come in and get a plate and let's sit down and talk and eat and kick it and then go out here and make something and build something, break something down, or clean something up, and let me teach you a skill. Then you come in and you own that.
No, I'm with you with that because we got to bring back into our community life.
Yeah.
Because right now we ain't getting nothing but death. Like I said, even just like I don't think because it's the same cycle repeating itself as just new players on the street. Same thing with the police. Okay, the police we came up with was rough. These ones right here is rough. It's the same process.
Right. It's not ever gonna change.
It's the same process.
The reason why the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense was created in 1966 was because it was policing the police and the atrocities that the police were doing on African people in America.
Facts.
That was the reason why they were created. And the gangs that kind of split off them were doing the same thing at first until they, for whatever reason, figured out that doing drugs and stuff like that and selling them in the neighborhood was more important than policing the community the way that they first started.
But that's what I'm saying. This is what it was so crazy. You wanted, I'm just going with Reagan. Let's just say you had, but it was before that. Y'all was able to allow these drugs to be put in the black in the low poverty areas. What do you think gonna happen when you don't think them people having kids? Why you think we can come up with it was said, oh, them crack babies? What do you think you having going on? And then on top of that, look how they brought the Ritalin game out to put the kids on Ritalin.
I'm gonna send you, perform. We're gonna dope you up,
and that's what they doing. If they ain't doping up the parents, they doping up the babies down to the grandbaby.
Yep,
it's like an endless cycle that you seeing what's going on. They love all this that you seeing because you know why? What this week start? Back to the bricks.
Right?
Don't you know it's finna be all boots on the ground?
Man, everybody.
It's finna be all boots on the ground here. But you didn't do that for 810 Fest.
You didn't do that for the Jazz Festival.
And I'm tripping because I'm gonna tell you, it was some people around up in our age group. The older ones, when they was walking in, they did a complete 360. Too young,
right?
Too young,
right?
But if you don't teach your kid, it's no way. But I do try to go to the Bible for my Bible thumpers. God said He was gonna raise a Joshua generation, if I'm not mistaken. Because what we going for, you can't go tell them, hey, you come into my church, you get on your knees and pray, this is going to help pay for this, when they got to help at home.
Well, and see, that is the wrong message to be sending to anybody by saying, go, if you ain't praying hard enough, when the whole mission of the church, the whole mission of the church when it first started was to help people.
Facts. When you brought in them 501c3, it changed the game.
Well, that means that there's no separation of church and state, and you can do what you want to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The church, if you look, the church, what it was supposed to be for, but I'm gonna be honest with y'all, family. I don't care. I don't care how they get it. But do people know when blacks got to preach the Bible, they had somebody watching them standing over to
Hell,
the
you better.
side?
Hell, yes.
I'm just trying to be honest
And you
with
weren't
y'all.
literate enough to read it. You were told what you were supposed to read.
Right. You not finna be able to deal. You not finna run that same game that they done ran on our parents, our grandparents, our great grandparents, and our great grandparents.
Right.
You're not finna roll that on them. You can't tell them, listen, if you get on your knees and you pray like this, you're gonna get $1 million when he looking at mama rent gotta be paid. Mama already working jobs while he gotta be at home, or mama on drugs. You think any sibling wanna see they siblings going through this? That lead to what? I gotta start making
I gotta
money.
start finding a way to hustle and making money.
Yeah.
There's a rapper, G Herbo.
Yep.
Man, he
From
does
the
this. He's
Chi.
called Malcolm. Yeah, from Chicago. I love that song. It's a story, but it's a truth
Right.
where people like, and this is where we go back to talking about reading scores in certain levels and in certain grades, right?
Facts.
So when you talk about third and fourth grade reading scores, if those scores are not high enough, you're kind of sort of picked to be a different. Now we're gonna ready to turn your life into something different.
Mm.
Okay, but this one over, we're gonna let them slide through the cracks because they reading scores pretty good. But over here, third and fourth grade, they not so good. So we gotta, we got something for them. So if people don't think that all of this stuff is not connected to business, not connected to politics, not connected to any of the other stuff, then right, the schools and prison pipeline. As a matter of fact, on Prime, they have a documentary on the school to prison pipeline, right? Who quoted that first? I want to say Dr. Bobby Wright was the very first one to mention it, even though he didn't mention it in that way. And then Dr. Naeem Akbar talks about that too. And psychological changes and images of psychological slavery. And I promise I'm going to send him before I'm going to send Mickey a book list. So we're going to have two book lists. We're going to have a book list for Black Watch, and we're going to have a book list for a Conspiracy Tuesday. So we're going to have two different book lists. They all the same though. So it don't matter. Because I'm a cross reference both anyway. Because one side we're saying these are things happening, we trying to give a solution. And the other side is we're over here and we're giving solutions anyway. So some of those solutions may be in both.
You got a point. I was reading Mark Hutchinson.
Yeah, I'm reading it now.
Yeah, that's what I be getting caught over. I be looking at my phone, then trying to look at the screen.
Right.
I'm looking down.
Slave was teaching people. Right. Remember the Freedmen's Bureau. Even though the Freedmen's Bureau was supposedly started by the government, it was not. It was typically run by persons in the church. And remember, the churches would have secret meetings.
Yeah.
And in those secret meetings, they would formulate plans in order to make things happen. So even when they had the ring shouts out in the woods, they were telling people how to get out of here and get the freedom off the plantation.
She said, "Is this the name?" This was Yogi G said. Somebody in here gonna find it out for you. Is this the name of the documentary, Elementary Genocide, the School to Prison Pipeline?
So yeah.
What it do, Felicia? You ain't never late. That's the East Coast family from New Jersey.
Okay.
But no, I mean, but just imagine that in a country, in a civilization. Now, this reason I'm saying civilized, because in a civilized society, do you think that has some called the school to prison pipeline?
In a civilized population, what you have is everybody taken care of like Gaddafi was doing. In a civilization, you have what the ancient Kemites was doing, and everybody eats. Nobody's hungry.
Yeah.
In a civilized, I don't even, you can't even. in a place that's civilized, you have no poverty. Those are created by those are man-made creations that are against nature. Okay, you even if you did have the bits of poverty, and I've seen it when I've had an opportunity to travel to Africa where there's poverty, but yet the French come over and they eating well, and other ethnic groups that come over and they're taken care of, and you better not say nothing to them because these are our former owners. Yet you got people begging on the streets.
That's what I'm saying. In the civilized, I mean, when you're looking at people that supposed to be high science, you creating this and that, but look what you giving. You selling processed foods.
Yeah,
You
because you
you
want to keep this, but it's focused at a certain population, though.
Yeah, look at medical monopoly. I'm just
Right.
saying, bring it in. That's what I'm saying. I'm going. Before I forget, people keep when I'm telling you that book by Pat Buchanan, Death of the West. I know some people gonna get mad with this about, but it was basically talking about the browning of America.
Right. And how do you stop it from happening?
Why
Right.
you think you having these ice raids right now? I mean, if you really gonna talk this talk, what's going on? But see, this is where you come with a twofold when you looking at how long can a country survive when you got. Hear me out. Democrats come in. They supposed to be for the people, right? They do these rules, right? After they 4 years or maybe 8 years, a Republican come in, try to undo everything they did. How is you like? What is you telling the people?
He's telling the people right wing, left wing, right wing, same bird.
Right.
That's what you're telling the people. And see, here's the thing. This is the sad part. And I think many of our older scholars back in the 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s decided that they were going to leave because for a while James Baldwin left.
Right.
And he came back. Du Bois said, I'm not dying here because this place is never going to change. When people recognized that this place was never going to change, they made a decision to leave. I'm not clear the reason why we think number one, the place is going to change, and number two, that our voice really matters. They'll let a few people, like we hear Jasmine Crockett out there talking, and now she's on a talk show with the one guy that they late night guy that they shut his stuff down. But
did you see how they used her?
Yeah, of course.
Did you see the play? And you see how that governor coming at her now with this redistricting? How many Democrats over there supporting her?
Right.
From the main.
Hold a minute. Hold that up. That's my girl. What's she saying?
Which one? Yogi?
Yogi.
I got you. I put it. Just put it back up there. Yeah.
I'm trying to get out to DC by the end of this week, this month. There's a conference out there, drum and dance conference. They're trying to kill us. Okay, I'm gonna write that down.
Oh, you got to go back to remember the Little Rock, Arkansas. What was it? Central, the school.
Central High School.
When they showed you how, just look here. Look at the inner city schools in Flint, and you cannot tell me how they get everything stripped here, but it's on the outskirts.
Well, because listen, okay, we're gonna say this once again. There was a point in time when you had the early mayors after Mr. McCree. His position was if you work here, you got to live here. There was a point in time when you had many businesses, General Motors included, that said if you work here, you got to live here.
Mm-hmm.
You wasn't taking money away. You had to live here. That's the reason why you had all of the stores and everything else, because you had to live in the community where you made your money at. They got that from Henry Ford, the way he did and built Dearborn. You ain't got no excuse not to make it work. You just walk up the street. So then once they laxed the rules because people were concerned, we had like what you recall as well, white flight, where we want to move away because we're to living in too close proximity to people that we formerly owned. So white flight was now we're pulling the money out and putting the money back in other communities. So let's take another look at something else.
Mm-hmm.
Like the major facilities, Lapeer, Milan, Coldwater, and Adrian, Michigan. where you holding all of these prisoners, but they're populated, they're white towns, and most of the staff white folks.
Mm-hmm.
So you're feeding them. Meanwhile, you're draining us. And at what point in time, back to what we originally talked about, have been talking about, do we sit there and say, I love you enough that I'm not going to let you be part of that system? But some of us, because of the chemicalization and all of this other stuff that we're going, oh, I'm stressed, it don't matter. So you get so stressful that you don't understand that your kid may be out plotting and planning to go do something. I don't recall being a young man having somebody in our age group, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old, talking about taking their life.
Diabolical.
Now you hear about it all the time because of somebody bullying you or this or that or other, or cyberbullying, which means you can't turn your phone off or turn your computer off, which is very interesting
Unacceptable.
to me. It's very interesting to me.
But you see that you could get cut it off.
Just cut it off.
But see, they got our kids. So, but not just our kids, they got the world caught up in this where you can't put it down. You know what I'm saying? They broke the family structure up.
Right. So even with the distractions of cell phones and video games, that's about breaking down and breaking up the family structure.
Yeah.
Right. So there's a couple, and I think these are really skits more than they are the truth. And I want to answer Zachary Harrison's.
Which one?
Yeah, the very last one.
I got you. I'll put it up.
I lost my train of thought. My fault. I wasn't focused for a second. Where, okay, let me answer since she's already. In 1967, you had two things happen. Number one, Cleveland had the first black mayor in Stokes. Second black mayor was McCree that was elected here. 1967, you also had the housing commission get broken where we could live almost where we wanted to. And McCree, my father, and a few other men were important and involved in that. So that was historically, certain cities are going to get targeted later on because you did this thing. 1937 sit-down strike. Okay, so now y'all unions are whatever, and y'all unions are strong. So guess what? Eventually, we're going to break you to be unionless.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why we no longer have, and I love Mayor Stanley, and I could be wrong, but at the same time, he was the one mayor in charge that could have told GM to stay.
I thought it was Sharp.
Sharp wasn't until 92. But it was Stanley. This is his first term.
And what year was that?
In the 80s.
No, Stanley was in the 90s. Sharp was in the 80s.
And Stanley did 2 terms.
Yeah, but it was in the, wasn't that, I could have sworn that was, wasn't it like 84 or something?
It was, yeah, because
that was Sharp.
Blanchard was the governor.
No, it was Sharp. Sharp was the black mayor here, right? Yeah, it was James Sharp.
Okay.
Yeah.
Blanchard was the governor.
Right.
And then Sharp or Stanley was the mayor. And they were the ones that let GM leave because what's the guy's name who does the documentaries? He did Roger and Me, Michael Moore. Okay, he did Roger and Me. And Roger Moore was the CEO of General Motors.
Mm-hmm.
But also what was going on that they were formulating was NAFTA.
Right.
So all of this stuff, it was done by design. And again, Dr. Umar Johnson talks about this too. So you take the trade. No longer do you have out there skill center where you can go take a car and learn how to rebuild it. You learn everything. So now what they have out there is nursing programs, and not that that's not necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Job Corps had the same thing. Even now they have the hard trades, construction, brick, paint, and then they have a few other ones out there. I don't remember what they are. You know,
I
one
think
is
this for you
office.
right here. I put it on the screen.
Okay. GM is a company, can't make them stay. You can, but you have to also have. Okay, so even if GM headquarters are down, supposedly down at the building downtown in Detroit off Jefferson, right? But most of its plants are not here any longer. Most of its plants are overseas. Okay. Um, so if you're negotiating properly without giving any and everything away as far as your tax base, because you can't constantly give a corporation incentives they never pay anything. Meanwhile, you tax the hell out of the citizens who are making 11, 12, 15, $17 an hour. But what I'm talking about is there's a point in time where the unions and everybody else have to be on the same accord. The last time that there was a strike talk, the unions, the UAW and the heads of the UAW, they went and bought stock in those people that they were talking about striking against. They went and bought stock. And because people aren't paying attention, they went and bought stock in those companies that they're talking about striking against.
I get what you're saying, Zach. Zachary. He's saying GM has plants all over U.S. and Ben had plants in other countries. So does Ford. Right.
But the thing, when they first started, where were they? They were here.
Right.
And people people not only supported them, but they also supported other people. Okay, well, however, whatever.
I would never. I'm just saying.
I'm not being slanderous. My father was a foreman in General Motors.
Yeah.
He worked in the Buick Foundry. So I saw that disappear. And I knew a lot of those men that lived there as well. That made their living there. But go ahead, brother.
No, ain't no problem. But they never had nothing when they was taking it. I could see if you might have taxed them. And look how they left. I'm just saying, like, they should have had something in place. They knew GM was leaving. That's what I feel like.
Right, absolutely.
They didn't have nothing in place. Right. And that comes from your leadership.
Right, absolutely.
Your mayor, your council, your state rep, even your senators. But that's what the mayor supposed to do and your council when you're trying to bring businesses here to help, you know what I'm saying, the dying community. Because look, what did they do now? You brought up, he was, what did they bring up here? They got the plants, Ashley Capital.
Right.
You bringing plants back, but you took them away. Even when they moved them over to overseas, let's just say over Mexico, they wasn't paying what they was paying here. They was going for cheap labor.
Cheap labor.
Let's be honest.
You don't have to worry about any of the laws, right? You could dump water, you can dump waste, whatever you wanted to. Just like what they did in the river here. You can dump waste wherever you wanted to. You can do whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever they wanted to. Because you paying your workers 4 or 5 pesos a day or whatever. Meanwhile, they was only getting one. Now they getting. I'm exaggerating. I'm not, but now they can take care of their families. It doesn't matter about the pollution because I saw that happen in Senegal with a French plant that had a trench running right to the ocean, dumping out the waste right into the ocean, where people were bathing and fishing for their food from.
Look at the disaster we got now with the water.
Yeah. Right.
That should tell you all you need to know. I mean, we can say it could be Flint and Flaw, Zachary, but you have to look at the leadership that you put in.
And not just the leadership of the city, but the leadership of who's running the company as well.
Facts. And that's what you know what I'm saying? But you coming back and what you thought these people was gonna be able to buy your cars?
Listen, you win a car that might have cost $8,000 or $9,000 to a car that's 50, 60, $70,000 because the parts are made somewhere else and brought back here and assembled.
Right. But that's the thing. When you got leaderships, when you got a mayor, you got a council that's all on board. They ain't that what they supposed to do? Bring businesses here that will hire the residents here, bring jobs.
That's right. Because then how are you gonna bolster and boost everything else?
Yeah.
How are you gonna have people to go to school?
Right.
So those people, now we got this company here, Ashley Capital. I don't know what they do,
Right.
but are they hiring people that are local and get paying them a living wage so they can?
No, I made that mistake. Not Ashley Capital. What's that? What's that company?
Lear's around the
Lear.
corner.
That's what I meant to say. Lear.
Yeah.
Brought Lear right back in. Now you just took the plants away. Now you want to bring plants back, but just look where they put them at. Why did they take them from there in private neighborhoods?
Well, Lear's right there on Hamilton.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's a plant.
Right. It's a plant. Right.
Yeah. Why would they put the plants outside of Flint when you got to go drive?
Well, because then they want you to spend your money in that community.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying, when you look at it, it's a reason. You mean to tell me Arlington, them people wasn't negotiating good to keep what they got going on since it's been open since the 50s?
Right.
It goes back to your leadership, people, how you got doing business for you. If you got people, so much money that came through this city right here.
Yeah, billions of dollars.
And what happened?
Right. Oh, well, if you allow people to make a living and then take the money out, that's in the same way with the school system. There's a point in time where you had to, if you were a teacher, you had to live here. Now people don't. They can live where they want to.
They change it up.
Yeah.
That's just like what Mark Hutch. I don't know why. You know what, Mark? I don't know why the people, and I'm gonna put his stuff up here, and I'm gonna go ahead. I can't ask you this question. Why does Flint continue to put the same people in office?
Because
people who were complicit in the water crisis, Neely, Jeff Wright, Kincaid, etc. What is it? I can't explain why. You can see, because let's just look at it. Remember when Gretchen Whitmer came down here? Remember Gretchen Whitmer ran on the water pods, blase split, all this stuff was going on. What we find out, the concerned pastors, Melissa Mays, them got $100 million, right? And they knew the water pods wasn't coming. And the pastors knew this.
Right.
How long did they have these people thinking they could get the water pods back?
See, now to kind of sort of answer his question, it's hard to answer that question because the evidence says that if you continue, people vote for interest, right? So political action committees are people that are voting for interest. They want to make sure that their interests are met. And if they find somebody to help with put their interest on the table, then of course that works out for them.
Yeah, no, it's just crazy when you see the stuff that's going on. It's like, just like we were saying this earlier. When you seen that a whole city was poisoned, right?
Right.
You had Snyder.
Right.
How can you fumble this case if you was Gretchen Whitmer? She running around, she was able to go on the Breakfast Club. Oh, the water fixed, all this, and that. When we telling you, I can go, it might be fixed in certain areas, but I know on that north of the Flint River, them houses is still people telling you they water is brown, high as stink. Like,
even at my house, you can tell. You turn it on, I let it run first because you smell it.
That's what I'm saying. It's like crazy. And you know what they did? Well, and nobody go to jail. But let me and you do something. We going to jail.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah. The people that they ended up sending to so-called jail was the ones that were some sort of emergency manager or whatever they might have been that allowed to be the fall guy.
Yeah. But did they really get I'm talking about people that lost their life. Listen, man, you can't even get a doctor right now to tell you, to say that the water affected any of these people here. Mm-hmm. You're not going to get that. To me, it's like, okay, well, we're going to go through this. And you see, they building Flint up.
Right.
You put some houses right over here and say 100-some thousand condos.
But
100,000.
but what did we talk about before? We mentioned the master plan. So the master plan may not involve everybody that's in the city. Uh-uh.
Oh wow, well that's the going trend. Go to the Breakfast Club, but see how they use the black Charlemagne and God them don't see how they being used. Let me
Well,
put
everybody's
yours.
being used.
Yeah, and that's what's so wrong that he ain't opened his eyes up to say, let me get somebody from Flint who really down in there to see about this water stuff. But he not gonna do it because if he do, he gonna miss his money. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Who started this problem that as far as what they the undocumented? What did people think was gonna happen? Y'all thought Trump, and this really a Democrat and Republican beef, really got nothing to do with us. Because they wanted the free labor, because they know they could cheap labor. Let's just say free. They wanted dinner close to free labor.
Right.
Why you think they're going to these places? You know what I'm saying? They're going to. I'm just. I was watching where on one Ice Cube was on a podcast, but I was watching Tim Black. If y'all want to know, shameless plug, go watch Tim Black because he go at the Democrats hard. He independent, if I'm not mistaken. What you thought was gonna happen when Trump? Didn't he say what he was gonna do?
Yeah.
The Democrats was looking at this is about. I keep telling people the browning of America.
And that's see, if we look at that, right? It's not just America. The world is 82% people of color. So if white supremacy is the ideology that you're trying to keep alive because you don't want to acquiesce to the fact that you're not the majority on the planet, and you're not. You're only 18 to 20% of the population. Then if you want to say, I want to have an area where we just are, that's fine. But you don't, but on the other side of that is you're willing to destroy any and everything, any and everybody in order to have what you want.
But answer this question for me. Are they wrong for wanting people to have you if you are documented? Do other countries have open border policies where you can just come in?
Probably not.
I'm just because that's what I'm saying, because eventually you was gonna have to, like, what was they think they was not gonna do? And I get it because the Republicans, they fighting for a voting base. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Why you think you see this gerrymandering?
Right.
I mean, this redistricting, they ain't doing it by choice. They doing it because they know what they got to do. Yogi G, so how does the caste system affect all of what we are experiencing?
It absolutely has something to do with what's experiencing, what everybody's experiencing.
But they didn't think this was going. My thing is, what did we thought was going to happen? I was watching when Cube was on there with the one guy. He was a Hispanic. He was like, "Man, I don't even want to go outside. Like they grabbing people who are legal and people who ain't legal.
It don't matter, right? Because there's somebody in Burton they just grabbed.
And what did I say about when the police come in? They not gonna be able to, this like, okay, is this a good person or is this a bad person? Right. They come in and swooping them all up.
Right.
That's just how they gonna do. What's up, Marcy A. Tarbert? Show this Taco Tuesday. I mean, what do you think was gonna happen? Well, I mean, what did they thought was gonna happen? We knew this was gonna go down. Trump was saying that he was going to his base.
Right.
And you can't listen. I get it. If you come in the right way, you go through it. At least I will say this. At least y'all got somewhere to go to, because you hear how they want to put up, oh, they're going to come after y'all next. Where we can go to? Where can we go to? We're not accepted. We not accepted by none. So what they saying, where they taking us to? We don't even have a country that we can go that will say, this where you come from. This your land. This is what I wanted to ask you. How did we get into this situation where this show you how crazy this is? We got Africans here. I'm talking about the black ones. how even Hispanics, how we don't even we don't even get along as we should. Not Hispanic, I mean Haitians. They even have a look at us as different.
Yep.
Let's just be real when we talking about this. I can put money to you right now. You will see an African, and me and him can look down there alike, but he'll have a closer understanding with an Arab.
Right.
Let's just be real. How did we get to this?
Because it's propaganda. So that's the propaganda that's said it's okay to kill black people. That's the same, or Africans in America. That's the same propaganda that says it's okay for your children to be out of order and run around and go down somewhere and have a beef in public instead of having a beef over there. Let's get once it's done, we get it over with and we're finished. All right. It's the same propaganda that people put on the news and then make it sound like, now, what do you say? This weekend it's supposed to be back to the bricks or whatever. And guess what?
All forces gonna be on deck.
Everybody's gonna be on deck. You better not blink about doing nothing.
Well, who you think they finna be going after?
Oh if we don't put ourselves, if we circle the wagons or circle the wildebeest, that's the water buffalo, and put the calves in the middle so that they can't get out, and the calves understood the word to protecting them, but see, they don't have that understanding anymore.
But see, this give them even more time. Like you see, what the mayor came out. Let's be honest, the mayor ain't came out and said nothing till that happened downtown. You know, it's been killings going around the city.
Right.
Oh, he found the safety plan because you know why. And I don't know the
individual coming in here with all of this stuff.
No, I don't know. No, it was some people who took, had the overview footage of it, who owned them got places in them townhouses, probably supported him. Remember, downtown, how was there only a couple officers for what went on for 810 Day on Sunday?
Right.
But when they had Drop Fest, you had officers all through there.
All over the place.
But on this day, you don't have no officers. Now you come up with a curfew because now they're going to be able to say, well, if you 15, you shouldn't have been down here. It ain't like they only going to be grabbing certain ones. Let's just be honest.
Right. And they're going to lock them up, and then they're going to lock them up. And guess what? You got to pay to get them out.
Right. And people going to be, oh, they had downtown secure, but why you only do it on certain events and not all of them?
Right.
But my thing is, and don't get me wrong, I understand the violence that's going on, and I keep going back to this. People remember the 1994 crime bill.
Right.
This is a play for this. Definitely. People don't. Well, we need. I understand when you lose a kid, you're gonna be like, I never lost a kid. I done lost siblings, cousins. So I understand how the parents would be. You gonna want. I even remember watching it when the Minister Farrakhan was out there in California when it was like, when the mother was crying, like, you know what I'm saying? Why you had to, and people don't understand. If you ain't push nothing out and you don't understand that, from a mother and a child, her in her for 9 months, she done pushed this out, then breastfed it and groomed it up, and it's over with over something simple.
Right.
So what you think, you know what I'm saying? We need the police in. Bring more police. That ain't what all the time is good. You need some of this, like you was talking about, community.
Yeah.
Like these activists, you got to go where them kids is at. But see, you know why activists are scared to go where them kids is at? Because a lot of them, they didn't see, and they like, oh, you really ain't no activists. I see the games you be playing. Because it's going to be kind of hard to tell this youth. You telling them this, they see you out there maybe drinking or chasing women, smoking blunts, getting high. It's going to be hard to tell them when they're going to be like, man, how you telling me this and this how you living?
This how you, and see, and that's one part of it. The other part of it is, like, how am I supposed to make a living when this is all that I have? And that's the reason why a lot of times when I talk to young people is sometimes you may have to go make a living somewhere else.
Yeah.
Get your passport and you might have to go to another country.
But is they prepared? See, that's
of course
the thing.
Not. But that's part of the cycle.
Yeah, but if you prepare, that's like on certain things. I'm gonna give you an example. Like some kids, your kids, you might have one who can be like, oh, I can let him out. I can trust him to go away to college.
Right.
He can be on his own out of state. Then you got one you might have to hold him. He not ready. He can't handle it. He might have to be a little closer to home.
Right.
Oh, she might have to be a little closer to home for you can be. everybody is not going to be advanced at the same time where they can go out and have a mind
absolutely.
state.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what, like what we doing. Sometimes we be pushing them kids out and they're not ready. Just like right now with the school system, they pushing kids out that's reading at a 4th grade level.
Right. Right. Yeah,
Are
absolutely.
you serious?
Yep.
Like some of the stuff that's going on, back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, you couldn't come in reading at a 3rd grade level. Your parent would have been on that, like, what's going on?
Right.
How did we get to where we don't even care no more?
And that's through the allowing, you change the laws. It's not about always I got to beat my kids, but or even corporal punishment that was in school.
Yeah.
It's all of these things all at the same time.
But see, that was a design for what they doing. Remember, like, oh, you can't whoop them. You got to talk, put them in timeout.
Right.
We didn't come up with no fucking timeout.
Listen, man, and if you got kids, like I think we were talking about this on Sunday, where this boy wanted to go to a party, and this case happened in either 2014 or 2011, and his parents told him no, and so he ended up taking a hammer, killing his parents, and having a party at their house.
Crazy
That's
work.
insane.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
If you get told you can't have a party, guess what? You're going to sit your ass in your room, play your video games, and not have a party or go to a party. You leave here if you want to, you better find someplace else to stay.
Hey, you still getting your ass whooped when I catch you.
And because you're going to come home because them people ain't going to want to be bothered with you. So they're going to bring, as soon as you bring your ass home, you're getting your ass towed.
Yeah, that's on deck. That's like batters up. That don't because you went to granny house.
Right.
Cool. Well, you got your chill time. Oh, aunties them. But when you get back, you're still getting that ass whooped.
Still getting, but see, we don't do that anymore. We want to talk. Right. Or we want to bribe our kids in order to do. I need you to do better. If you do better, I'll give you these Jordans. I'll do better for 1 minute. I get these Jordans, and I'm right back to the same old shit.
Crazy work. But you graduating a kid at the fort. Be sharp as hell though, but don't know, got common sense.
Spend billions of dollars at the prom. Can't spell prom.
Right. And it's like, but see, we got caught. We, as Brother Roberts, and I heard you say, we done got indoctrinized.
Yep.
Into what you know what I'm saying? Like, this is what we feeding it. This is what we being fed. We getting fed garbage every day. Just look at the Muppet Babies. And I'm not knocking no LGBT. Let me get that together. But do a kid really got to know about that at 5 and 6 years old?
Oh, but that's indoctrination though.
Yeah, I'm just saying, do they got an over-sexualized?
Hypersexualization, right.
Do they need, like I said, seeing a little girl listening to Lotto about 9 years old with lipstick on doing, I mean, it's like, have you seen some of these 14-year-olds, how they've been dressing them, graduating, finna go to high school?
Yeah, being in middle school and high school, I saw them. And even in elementary, I've seen some of them, we get it that they can't help it.
Right.
Right. Some of them are just physically gifted. Get that. But at the same time, let's be a little modest about what it is that we allow our children to walk out of the house in.
Have you seen the mamas? The aunties, what they got on?
Yeah, some of them need to be covered up with garbage bags sometimes.
Yeah, and I understand black women. I believe y'all have some of the beautiful bodies.
The most beautiful people in the world.
Beautiful shapes, but everything don't need to be exposed. Right. This is what tripped me out for when I be seeing them when they going to church and everything. Look how they be dressing at the church. How you think pastor gonna get up there? He's seeing you coming in and he human. He's a man.
Man, listen. If you've really truly been called to that position and that level, then you have to control them urges. I'll be damned.
Yeah.
Now, if you choose not to, then you can't. You not get no grace from me. I don't care. I could care less. That's being called to a position, and then you say, I don't care if she walk around the congregation ain't got nothing there. Sit your clothes on. Be in control of yourself. Do what you're supposed to do, and serve it to people as you should.
But they don't.
Well, it's because they not real people called to them positions.
You know they ain't been called. They was sent to go get some money. And that's why you see when they come into this, like you see stuff that's going on. Because what they do, they get to hearing their name called. Oh, Pastor such and such. Oh, this and that. See, and a lot of time when you be seeing people who do, not all, I'm going to go about 65%. A lot of these times when you see these men get in these positions and women started coming to them because they probably didn't date a lot of women when they was coming up. These was people who didn't find them interesting. That's really when you see when it come at you. Somebody who done been out there and been a little seasoned, he gonna, he understand who he got is good enough.
Right. Or the fact that that doesn't entice me is beautiful, but it doesn't entice me, and I have a mission.
Right.
I'm gonna go back a
Go
little
ahead.
bit, and the brother that was on the left for Taco Tuesday, who said some things that we were talking about with slanders. We're just giving a general stuff, brother. We're not whether you were an electrician and retired, and my father was a foreman, and I didn't say he was part of the UAW. I did mention the UAW, and I did mention the fact that this last time that they were talking about striking, um, that what they did was they bought stock. That's exactly what I said. So it wasn't slanders. So be careful with your words. Okay. So whether you're going to eat or not, if you come back and listen to this, I want you to, because I did not say certain things that you assumed that I said. I'm talking about from my experience watching my father and my experience of watching this situation here in Flint, and the little that I know. Now, I didn't say I was an encyclopedia about it. That's something, but what I do know comes from personal experience watching my father do it. So be very careful with your words. I didn't say anything slanderous. And I know you're not on here because you want to go eat. And that's fine. Eat a taco for me and have a margarita too. But you just, yeah, you're an electrician. You wasn't even here. So, okay. And if you were here, still at the same time in the same place, understand what I'm talking about. Now that I got that off my chest. Now, let's move forward.
I'm gonna put this up here from Bluegrass. Says Epstein girl, just I don't want to mess this. Justine Maxwell father, Robert Maxwell, was a scientific and academic books publisher. The Weirdos wrote all the school books.
Okay.
I mean, but when you go, even like when you go, just go look at some of the things that's going on. We so far away from how they wanted it done to where we at now. Just lame.
Yeah.
Just lame. My bad. Thank you for that, Bluegrass. That's what I'm saying. It's like, but just look at our schools. Ain't no way you can tell me that the way the Flint schools sit, the kids can't even write in cursive.
And well, there's a whole lot of the stuff that people chose to take out because they didn't see was important for fine motor skills, and it's very important for fine motor skills.
Facts.
Right. But the other part, what has to be back to what I said earlier, it's got to be all hands on deck.
Yep.
It's got to be the teachers, the parents. We all have to, we got to know we got to administrate. That's fine. And I'm not neglecting them or saying that they're not important. But what I'm saying is if we're working together and we're tight as a unit, as a parent and as a teacher, and if we're working together, I'm not saying administration is not important. They are, because they have a job to do as well. What I'm saying is this: if I say that this is what we're going to work on, I need you as a parent to make sure that you're helping me work with them after they leave me. Don't just leave it up to me to be the one to do all of the work.
Right.
That's how we resolve that problem. So we don't have students who graduate with fourth grade reading levels. We don't do that. What we have is we have high level students. That might mean finding other people outside of what's going on in those four walls to do some additional things with them. Whether it be learn how to build some stuff, learn how to wire electrical stuff, learn how to do run pipe, all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of that stuff I learned from my dad. I didn't learn that in no trade school. Oh, most of the book publishers, they do two things. Number one, it's based on the politics,
mm-hmm.
and it's based on business.
Facts.
That's really it.
Because they won't. If they woke the people up, man, we'd be at a civil war like yesterday.
But that's the reason why I mentioned I'm not. Did I mention it here or mention somewhere else or to someone else? There's a book called The Pedagogy of the Oppressed by Paulo Freire. He's from Brazil, and he says that education should be about social and social reform and justice reform. That's what education is supposed to be about. It should be about transforming your social structure where you are. Now, in the caste system, you may not go higher or lower, but at least you can make it better where you are. And that's the thing. And the thing about the new math is about making connections to other things without really solving a problem, but solving a problem by making other connections, if that makes sense. But at the same time, as parents and as teachers, we need to be as versed as much as possible to make sure that we help our young people get through what we need to get through at a high level, not a barely making it.
Mm-hmm.
Because once we do that, then we help them open doors that they didn't know that were available. And once we are able to do that, we start to do that, then we'll start to make progress. Well, see, most of the dialectic is there's a problem, solve it. If it's a but this light goes out, how can we fix it? We don't need to figure out why it went out. It's just damn thing ain't working. So who cares? Let's fix the light.
But see, that's the thing. See, that's the problem when we looking at.
There you go, my girl.
Put it up here, Yogi G on it.
Yeah.
That's on tap into the sisters
That's
this
what
Friday.
I said that right.
Yep, I just put it up here for the people can see who it is. The book you need to go get. See, this is the stuff that we need to get and start learning when you sing. But they don't want the masses of people woke up then because they can't keep tricking you.
No, because once you okay, so then here's the deal. I'm gonna give y'all a social experiment to do. When you go buy groceries, read the label, and if you can't pronounce it, don't eat it. Now they're gonna give us vitamin C, but they're gonna call it sorbic acid or whatever they call it, or whatever. You know, if you can't read the label, don't eat it. It's just simple. It's orange juice. It's got vitamin C in it. That's all. If it's got preservatives in it, no.
But it seemed like everything they do because people want to act like, oh, the government wouldn't do this. How you get crack cocaine here? You didn't think crack cocaine they was gonna jam up people like what? I mean, it's neighborhoods who still ain't recovered from the crack epidemic. That's what people not understand. It's still areas who ain't recovered from it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Families, people who done died, new people coming on, and it's still crack out here.
Right.
Even with the heroin, you see it's a rise back up on that. But you see, and what I was told, they said the heroin, if you mess with it, you addicted the first time.
First time.
See, people not understanding these are, man, when putting this together to do this to its citizens, then want to come out like you said, we're gonna create the clinic. Like you said, I'll give you another drug to get off this drug.
Right.
How did Elijah Muhammad could clear heroin addicts back in the height of it?
That's right.
And then use a drug to get them off of it.
Nope. You know what he used? Nutmeg. Made nutmeg tea.
The science.
Yeah.
See, people don't understand that. Like that's the thing. When you're not looking at this, we think everything because we also into this nonsense. We're not understanding that how we've been played. Even the food that you eat can affect your mental.
Yep.
But they not gonna tell you that you got more people drinking all this pop. We got more, and I'm a chubby guy. I can't get rid of it. I've been working on this gut. Even me, I have my problem.
Jump at that so we get out of here.
For sure, for sure. But you was on time though.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But we still gonna do it.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
And that's what I'm saying. See, people don't understand like when you seeing how your government ain't working for you.
Go ahead on. Wait a minute. Where
I'm
the
reading it.
bluegrass? Put it up there, big bro.
Yeah, let me put it up there. The DARE program wasn't to keep kids off drugs. It was designed to gather intel in public schools.
Damn, bro.
But see, ain't nobody gonna speak on that.
Damn.
Just go, man, go watch that movie Traffic. When Michael Douglas, Michael Douglas, they made him the drug czar, and you get to see his daughter got on drugs and stuff, and you were seeing. Go watch that when it's like, well, if you did this, it was just like, well, if you got this percentage, you did good. They knew who the drugs was. This like this crazy stuff that they getting, they doing. You got police officers, oh, they coming after they coming after the drug dealers, but yet they not going to the root of the problem.
No, you can't go to the root of the problem because root of the problem is the one that's which allowing stuff to trickle down from the top.
And when you go find it, you might don't believe some of your people that's in politics approve this stuff to go through.
Yeah, they have to.
Yeah, they approve this stuff to go through. That's why when the brother was talking about, you had Jasmine cry. Oh, she was doing this and that. But what legislation has she did?
No, nothing. She was speaking out a bunch of stuff, but you ain't passed no bills.
And that's what I seen like we got. Don't be like, and Jasmine Crockett might be a beautiful sister, but don't let people use you in the wrong place. Cause you ain't seeing none of them standing up for you.
Nope,
go look how they eat their own. Y'all people remember the squad? You see how they came for them, the Democrats, got them out of there? Cause they was what? They was going against stuff. Oh, they came after AOC, but you see, she started bending to like a lot of the stuff.
Right.
She not as progressive as she thought she was.
Right.
You see, when O'Connor came out there, man, them people be having problems when they go against the regime of that Democratic Party. They not gonna let you come up there, man. Listen, they want you to go along with the get along. That's why you can have these Democrats that you be wondering when they get up in there, man, why they ain't voting for like what they said they was gonna fight for, because they get a whole nother plan and you're not included in it.
Right.
But you know what? The beautiful shit, Allen, you're going to have problems. It's important to teach your children that they should not become conformed to the things of this world. But you know what happened? They come conform to it.
You know why? Because their peers have more power than parents.
Yeah, just look at.
And I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, handle your business.
Because what we have to do, right? And I still, to this day, my son is graduated from, had a little bit of, Dad, I got a football game. It's a flag football game. I go. Dad, I got a basketball game. I'm there. Constantly.
Facts.
It is a never-ending cycle of being a parent.
Yeah.
He bought his first home a couple weeks ago. You know, Dad, well, how do we fix it? Come over and fix that. Now, my house, it ain't raggedy, but, you know, we neglect stuff in our home, but at the same time, it's always being involved. He's 24. He's grown.
Wow.
Growing.
Right. But they're still your kid.
Right. So there, you never stop being a parent. You never stop being a parent. And so we have to continue to parent.
Right.
If he goes downtown this weekend or whatever, hey, we going down. I might go down there, I might not, depending on what I got going on. But it's about constantly being in their lives, helping them make decisions or the best decision. I may not say, okay, I think you need to go left. What I will say is, I want you, here's your options.
Facts.
And what we're doing is sometimes we're not doing that part because nothing should have happened this weekend with a bunch of kids.
And when you seen it, it was the youth. It was just like the parents. I'm not saying, I can't say, but what it did show, the parents wasn't there. These youth you can't trust to do right on their own.
No, you can't. Because everything that they've been told, everything that they eat, told them I can do what I want to.
Facts.
I can act how I want to.
Facts.
I can say what I want to. And there's nobody going to say anything to me about it.
Facts.
Now, when the police roll up on them, that's going to be a different story. But until then, I can do what I want to.
Yeah. Until they find out. Like you see, when just put one of them when they was fighting a young lady, where the lady was like, "You need to go for that rescue." I ain't scared of jail.
Right. See,
because they mind, but because you know what, a lot of people was telling man, you got to go to jail. Listen, let me tell you, I'm going to jail, and I tell you, I don't want to go.
Right.
That ain't no place where you want to go to. It's like, but it's that same stereotype. You know what I'm saying? You got to go to jail. Like when you say, no, that's not.
You gotta be that makes you a man or woman to go get some. Yeah, okay.
You'd have gave away 4, 5, 10 years of your life.
Yeah.
Then broke your mama heart. Your mama got to come get money for you. Just think about this. Some of them don't even have money to be buried, man.
Let me tell you what. I'm gonna say this again. This is what my old man told. You too skinny and you too pretty to be a cigarette boy. I'm straight.
And just look how that happen when they go there. People go in, and we have to speak on this. People go in there. Do they tell you that they be raping the boys in there?
Boys and the girls.
Yeah, they not telling you about that. This how this thing supposed to be when they saying, "Oh, we gonna rehabilitate you." You mean to tell me you can go in there and they will take your and people not? Listen. Go watch some of them stories. Go on YouTube. They'll pull it up to you when you. I know some people want to go back to Scared Straight, but go watch the movie Oz. It used to be on HBO. All I remember this dude name was Adebisi. Go watch that when you seen how that ain't nothing. How you think that's how you gonna rehabilitate some people?
Right.
What you think gonna happen when you lead to things like that where it ain't nothing but it's all males in this jail. You ain't got no. What you think gonna happen?
Right.
You're gonna create a culture of some things that's gonna jump off. That's not no that's not no what's the name. What you think gonna happen? And I get it, you know what I'm saying, when you in jail, but look what you are look what is going on. They're not understanding that some are getting coming out messed up more than when they went in.
Right. Absolutely.
But they're not gonna speak on that part.
No, because if you continue the cycle, or like there was some young man that shot 5 people in his family over some same type of thing, some party or whatever he wanted to go to, and he ended up killing his mom and dad and shooting his brother and all this other stuff. They want to claim he had a. I get it. I was under mental duress. I get that, but at the same time, what about your self-control? What about your discipline? We're not doing that. We're not teaching any of that. Just like playing basketball and everybody get a trophy. No, God damn it, you lost. You suck. You don't get a fucking trophy. People tried to get on James Harris, who played for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
The linebacker.
Yeah, because his kids was involved in some sports and come in second or third place or whatever, and they wanted to get him the same trophy as the first place. They took the trophies and threw them in the trash. And people, this is the society. We become soft, and this is the result of what's going on with our children. Is because you say keep your hands off, parent them, hug them until they're better. I'm gonna hug you till your ass can't breathe. I'm gonna hug you enough till you can't breathe.
No, it's a soft air. Just think about it.
And so now what we have on the other side of this soft air is we have young people out of control. And you got, like I said, y'all can't go to a party, so I'm gonna take a hammer and beat the fuck out of you till you're dead.
Now ain't that something crazy?
Okay. And then they're planning on having him to come up for resentencing and look at his sentence in 2035 or something like that. So they may reduce his sentence because he's done better. But you killed your parents and had a party at your house and show people that you killed them.
So you knew what you was doing.
So you knew you were very clear, it's premeditated. You're very clear that what you were doing. See, even Mama Yogi said scared. And listen, and there are them brothers. There's some brothers in there I went to go visit in Coldwater in December. And I was just so struck with the amount of genius that's there. But why aren't we telling them that they're genius when they're in the womb?
Facts.
Why aren't we telling them that they're genius when they're babies?
Why we ain't doing preventative? Why in a society like this society supposed to be a civilized?
This society is not civilized.
Yeah, so why would we have a prison to school pipeline, a school to prison pipeline?
Because you got to fund the private sector.
That's
It's about money. So even with what my man is talking about, oh, I don't know what I'm talking about. Well, you might know what you're talking about as an electrician, but I'm talking about the politics of what happened here with a company that the people here made the company. And that's the difference between what we were talking about. We have to become the institution. We have to become the change agents. Sister Yogi, I'm scared that you got your stuff together, and I'm happy that you got your. I'm scared. Where did I get that from? Reading. I'm happy you got your stuff together because you went through that program. I'm glad of that. But we all have to be. But Chancellor Williams say, Dr. Chancellor Williams say, all hands on deck. People have to volunteer. People have to, man, when you in church, we gotta have a study group in church. We got a study group over here. You kids play sports, they gotta have a study hall. We have to go back to some of that other stuff. Or what we're gonna do is continue to talk about what happened on Sunday, where some kids according to the bit that I saw, you had two groups of kids. One had on black t-shirts, one had on white t-shirts, and they started some bullshit. But how in the hell do you not know what the hell your kids doing when they go out or what they got in your house?
I agree with you.
There should be absolutely no way your kid decide to walk out and we going down here, or like what I was telling you about before, the reel where a young man is going over this young lady's house and he likes this girl and he goes visit, but the dad gives him rules.
Facts.
The dad says, hey, look, I know we're going to end it in a couple minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The dad says, look, you can't go back there. You got to stay here. The young man breaks the rules.
Facts.
He want to go back in the bedroom with the girl because he's trying to be kind of grown.
Facts.
No problem. We get that. But there's a consequence.
If you break a rule.
If you break the rules.
He could have whipped his ass, to be honest with you.
He could have, right. I told you, right?
Yeah.
But the only thing he did was roughed him up.
And sent him on his way.
So the kid comes back with his mama.
She was wrong.
And she was wrong as hell for defending her kid who was wrong as hell in some other man's house.
Yeah, he was only supposed to have been brought back to apologize to them.
That was all.
Yeah, but
that was all.
This is the generation. I mean, this is the upbringing that we bring. Even when he do wrong, you still trying to justify.
You want to justify his wrongness. No. Whereas as a man, the man would have said, okay, you got roughed up. Then don't do that dumb shit no more.
Facts.
You was in another man's house. I'm not going over there to fight with this brother or argue with this man when you broke the rules and he's protecting his daughter.
Facts.
You broke his rules and you pick. So what is that? That's that soft parenting stuff.
Where it is.
You're giving him a trophy for trying to be slick. Okay, no problem. Don't come see my daughter. Now what they're gonna do is they're going to sneak around and do some other stuff anyway. Facts. Because they figure they're going to do that. But you ain't going to do it in my house.
Right.
Because you come over my house the next time after you did that disrespectful stuff with your mother, you can't ever darken my door.
Facts.
You can't ever darken my door.
You're going to have to see him on the streets.
Outside
from I don't want him on the street.
Right. And if I see both of y'all, I'm roughing them up again. And because the thing is, the dad roughed up his daughter as well for allowing him to take her back in her room.
As he should.
As he should. So we're not parenting.
Nope. But you want the police to parent him.
You all for the police to parent, because then you want to get out there if it goes horribly wrong, pray, march, cry, and complain that the police shouldn't have done that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you know they going, man, you know you going to have Al Sharpton them up here.
Man, Ben Crump, Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, all of them cats.
But you invite them to come in.
Oh, well,
that's the thing. You invite, but if you deal with them as they're coming up, you can't be their friends, man. You got to be a parent at the end of the day.
I'm gonna say this. My My son's 24, and I
Right.
have a bunch of goddaughters that I've raised and been in their life all their life, and I'm still dad. It don't
Fact.
matter. I know they do their stuff because they grown, they adults, and they have children and whatever. But at the end of the day, they still respect me as dad. And if they sit around there and have a problem, guess what they call?
Dad.
They call dad.
No, you good, Pastor Nicholas J. Gaddis, but that's what we need. And that's why this brother's on here trying to explain that to y'all.
All right.
Hey, you see, see, that's why he is on here. This for you, getting your flowers early.
Well, I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Oh man, because I told my son's girlfriend, my son is important to me, just like you important to your mom and dad. So if you cut up and I put you out, it is what it is. She looked at me kind of funny. Oh well, I don't care nothing about that. My son is important too. Keep your hands off of him.
Facts. And just like that, family. Any last words, good brother?
Well, family, like I said, man, the young man that was on here that called me what I was saying slanderous. You know what you know, and I know what I know. So, but I'm not going to say that you were slanderous, but because you know what you know. But we thank you for being on, family. We got to be more in tune with what we're doing as family. Number one, because we are family. Okay, we are family. We have to treat each other as family. And we have to teach our young people that, hey, look, this is how you got to be family. This is how you got to conduct yourself. And I don't want to see or hear otherwise because they need us and we need them.
Facts.
We can't be the water buffalo with the horns out and let them decide they want to run out and go do whatever they want to. We can't do that.
No, because we need them, because we're going to be old one day and they're going to have to protect us.
Yeah, we need them.
Can't keep losing, you know what I'm saying, these beautiful minds.
Right. Man, they're the most awesome people in the world. But they don't know that.
Right. That's the thing. They don't know how great they is. They just listen to people. Well, we getting on you. We only getting on you because we know it can be better.
Right. And we want you to do better. It's your job to do better than me. That's it.
Facts.
That's it. All right, family. We appreciate it. We'll all keep praying. Hey, Sister Yogi, just watch your back. Okay. And we appreciate you all being on today. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. And you all have a good evening.
Peace.
Peace.